Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream, and another chapter working on that guy right there. That's our tank that's almost going to be coming to an end. One day. Yes, that's our M2A3 Bradley. We're in the intro. Get into it. Okay guys, so we're back, and my tracks are looking a little, well, they're a little more presentable. Let's just say that. I'll change the camera, you can see what we got going on here, okay? So, we're looking a little rusty and not quite so gray. Yes, we can still see some gray, but we're looking a little rusty now. And yeah, so what's going on? What did I do? Well, I used some rust effects. What rust effects do you say? Well, I used, so far, we're in step one of the rust, okay? So, what did we do? We primered them gray, and then I spray painted them with German gray, okay? And we got that done. Once the German gray was dry, I used some Vallejo Mecca Weathering Light Rust Wash. And I gave it a little coat of this stuff, and that's given that slightly little bit of an orangey tinge. Not tracks that have been just left to sit out in the weather for months and months and months, but tracks that are they're in use, but they rust because, well, they're steel and that's what they do, right? So that's part one of the rust done. The next step is going to be, I need to paint all the little rubber pads on the bottom of each track, and then we're going to go in, and once that's dry, we're going to do some random dark rust wash in some spots all over the place to give it a little bit of a randomness to it and some that kind of thing. Now the unfortunate part is a lot of this rusting stuff is going to be disappearing later when we do some mud and dirt on them, but the fact that they're there, and it's not going to be 100% dirty, so you are going to see some of those, and that's going to show up and it's going to look nice and realistic looking. But right now I'm not dealing with the tracks, I'm dealing with wheels. So off camera I painted the green on all of our wheels, and so now I need to do the rubber on all of them, well, except for our drive cogs and our idler wheels. So I'm going to use some LP65 rubber black. We're going to paint all these up. I say we, but it's me. Okay. And also, I need to paint the mats, the rubber pads on each track. So let me change the camera and I'll show you here. So let's get some paint here. So what rubber pads? Well, in the very center of each track is this little section here. Like that. That needs to be painted rubber on every single one of them. Okay? And so I need to go through every single one of those and do that. Okay? And at the same time, I need to go around these wheels like this. Of course, it doesn't help when it's stuck to my toothpick, but it spins on my toothpick too. Now the inside of the wheel doesn't matter so much. Nevertheless, the wheels are another thing that is going to get, it's just going to take time, and it's another one of those things. You do all this painting and then you splash mud all over them and you say goodbye to all your painting detail that you spent all your time doing, and center of them, again, it kind of gets hidden away, hidden in the tracks, and you don't really see it. So just painting on the inside here, even on the axle part, doesn't really matter. Now there are those out there who would just mask these and spray paint. And if you want to take the time and cut out circles on your masking tape, then go right ahead. Now, I know there are templates out there you can actually buy. I've seen them, but you know, for the few minutes it takes to paint your wheels, I don't care so much. I'm just going to hold it here because it's a spinning. I know Uncle Nightshift, he paints them. He doesn't use stencils. And this is the only part I want to be sort of careful about, because we do have a little bit of a lip for the rim. But there you go, there's your tire, there's one of them, okay? So I got to do this like 18 times or whatever it is. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 more to do, okay? Got 11 more of those to do, and so we'll come back a little bit later when these are all done, okay? How about that?
Later.
So, my wheels are done. Wheels are all done. They've all got their little rubber tires on them, so they're all finished now. They're ready for installation. So now I'm just doing some touch-up on the tracks. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking a graphite stick, and I'm doing some detail on the inside of the tracks to show where the wheels contact, and their wheels constantly are kind of polishing the steel on the tracks, and so they don't stay rusty in those spots. They don't stay dirty. They're always nice and polished, shiny steel color. And so the graphite stick really helps with that. Now, you could just paint it if you wanted to. You could just use some silver paint and do that. Or if you have just a regular old pencil, you could do that too. I happen to have actual graphite sticks, so let me change the camera back and I'll show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is what I'm doing, and just to show you a little section here. Let's find one that's I've glued here. Okay, so you can see we've got some nice shiny metal along in the inside here where the wheels contact all the time. And yeah, so we also have all of our little rubber pads all painted up on the bottom of those, and so you have that looking like that. And so we've got our rusty tracks with our rubber pads and our nice shiny metal parts where the wheels make contact in the center all the time. And so I'm just finishing up on these. I just have a few more to do, and so I'm just going to go along here. This is where the wheel makes contact in the center, like that. So I've got like 3 more sections to do here, and then we could actually start on some installation of our wheels and actually have this thing close to done. Like I said, this is the longest build I have ever done. I have not ever in my life spent so much time on a kit. This is the most detailed, longest build that I have ever done, and there's not even really any custom stuff on this. This is just kind of a straight out of the box build. And yet there's just been so many parts to it there we go. Our tracks are done. Alright, so I'm going to put this back in its location if you're curious which ones I'm doing. So I got these off of Amazon. General's Compressed Graphite. And you get 4 extra smooth, soft, assorted ones. One's already gone. I don't even know where it is. But yeah, there you go. So we got different hardnesses too in this kit. 2B, 4B, and 6B. The 6B I guess I already used, and it must have fallen somewhere. I don't even know where it is. No idea. So that is that. So we're going to install our wheels now. We can throw that away. So which means we got to go all the way back to the beginning, guys. We got to go all the way back. Is it step number 5 is where we're actually installing wheels. Well, step 4, I guess, technically. Step 4, installing wheels. Let's go change the camera here. Okay, so let's grab the hull. Good thing this isn't glued, otherwise I wouldn't be putting in any wheels, right? So let's just take our upper half of the hull off. There we go. Okay, so you can just go over here and be pretty over here for now. So wheels, let's orient this in the way that they have it. Okay. We need our drive sprockets going on the front. So let's grab our drive sprockets. Here's 1 and 2. Let's get this off of my little sticks. They go on the front. Now these are the ones where it's like I was debating on whether to put the fenders on because I wouldn't necessarily be able to get the wheels in. So with a little bit of flex, this should go in here. If I flex it just a hair, we can get that in there. There we go. And put our drive wheel in. A little bit of wiggle wiggle. There we go. Okay. There's 1. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Second one's in. Okay, so there's our 2 drive sprockets. Now we get all of our regular wheels going on the rest. And then we're going to have our idler wheels on the very back. So those are probably going to be the last ones we put on. So simply just a matter of putting all of these on here. Is it really? It's a tight fit. Wow. Why is that such a tight fit? There we go. Just tight fit because I didn't have it lined up. These are tight because I got a lot of paint on my axles. There we go. Wheels installed. Yeah, they don't really turn, even though these have poly caps in them. What I'm going to do to make my life a little easier is take my file and I'm just going to kind of file down my axles just to take that layer of paint off of them a little bit. You know, we do have between the primer and the actual color on here. Let's get this back down to the basic beige. At least for the most part, eh? that should make my life a little easier on these. To get our wheels installed. Okay, let's grab another wheel here. Let's just grab two. These all gotta come off anyway, so let's just grab them all and put them here. Hi, how are you? Sorry, I kind of focused and looking down at my model kit here. I'm glad I catch you doing tracks. I wonder if they'll fall apart. Yes, they are going to. Well, you know, since painting them, I've noticed the paint is holding them together very well. So I don't think they're going to fall apart on me. At least I'm not anticipating that. But I am going to be gluing them anyway, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Alright, this definitely fit a lot easier with the paint taken off of the axles. Just push them all down on there. Falling apart more than 5 times, yeah. Don't want them doing that. How's the winter in Canada? Well, what is the score to duplicitous versus ice? I didn't slip once, but that mother is after me. Yeah. Well, you know, here on the west coast of Canada, we've had an extremely mild winter. I think we only had 1 or maybe 2 days so far that the temperature's actually gone into the freezing levels. So we've had a little bit of rain, and it's been a lot of cloudy days, but it's only when it cleared up a little bit we had a little bit of freezing temperatures. So we've been really fortunate here on the west coast. I've heard more towards the east, over in like Toronto area in Ontario, those guys have been hit with a lot of snow and some freezing weather. But over here in the Vancouver area, we've been pretty fortunate. Okay, so we've got wheels in. I need to put tracks on, and then we're going to do our idler wheels. I got my 2 little idler wheels here. Okay, now these 2 go on the very end, like this. But usually I've found, in order to get tracks on, you have to put the tracks on with the idler wheels at the same time. And these are a bit of a tight fit, but they're okay. And these ones should probably get a graphite treatment too. These don't have rubber on them, right? But you're going to have the track going all the way around them, so it's probably not going to be much of an issue. I'll just put them on here for now. I'll probably have to take them off later. But we'll install them first. This one's, there we go. Okay. Alright, so the poly caps make them really tight, so you gotta wiggle, wiggle, wiggle to get them off there, but there we go. Okay, so that's that. Wheels are installed, and I love the working suspension. That is pretty cool. Working suspension is awesome. Looks like you can skip tracks on top of the wheels. I would normally, like if you didn't want to do the whole track, you could get away with it because of the really long skirting on the sides of this thing that covers 90% of it. But because I'm leaving this removable, I don't want to, I don't get the luxury of cheaping out all that way. I need to do the full thing. Okay, so we have all our tracks there sitting on my desk. So with our wheels all installed, we can go all the way back to the back of the book where we're putting the tracks on. So what section was that? What step was that? Tracks. The tracks were step, there we go, step 35. Tracks. Now they tell you here, where did they tell you? You're supposed to have 80 links on each side. Okay, so I've kind of totaled them up. I think I've got it. It's been a while. I've been working on this for so long that I don't even remember. So I'm going to see, let's just try counting here. Try counting. I can try counting. I don't know if I can count or not. So let's take one of my sections that I've glued, which is going to be going on the bottom. So let's count some links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, 21. Let's get a little section here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 37. 8, 9, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 59. 61, 62, 62. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 78. I'm gonna have to pull one apart. There we go, 80. All right, so there's our 80 links. So we can kind of put our tracks together here and squish them. I've noticed some of them, they just don't go. Like they're literally, you press it together, which is why this guy, there was one I got all by himself. He's by himself because he just didn't want to go with his friends. And they didn't want to stay together. Are they bendable? Yes, they are. For the most part. They're nice and flexible. And they fall apart when you do that too, see? So as much as they kind of click together, with a little bit of bending, they do come apart. Okay, tweezer time. There we go. Okay. She gets pretty long. 80 links is a long length. That was a tight fit there. Okay, so I've got this part, which I'm going to drape over top. Now the question is, which direction does it go in? I think it goes in this direction, like that, but I'm going to refer to my book again. Looking at our diagram, it's going to go like this. Let's flip this over in the direction they have it. So they're showing me like this, and it's going like that. So my little glued section, it goes like this. So that's the way it goes, is like that direction there. Okay, so do that. That's the direction it's supposed to go. I didn't catch you bending. Can you show me again? Sure. There. Each link is bendable. Flippy floppy, yeah. There you go. Okay, so with that like that, that means flip this over. It's going to go like that, and then like this over top. Alright, so let's take that off. Go like this, and drape this down. I think I'm going to have to fish it through the top. Over our drive sprocket. Through our idler wheel. See, there's our idler wheel sits so close to the top of the fender that we're going to have to remove it. So I might as well take this side off first. See, I was right about the idler wheels not being able to have them on there at first. Let's just drape that over there. You didn't read the previous message, sorry. Are they bendable? I knew they would fall apart. I tricked you. You know, I was anticipating them falling apart anyway, so yeah. It's not much of a trick. It's just the way they are. Okay, so we need to fish this through the front, and that's going to be the trick. Fishing them through the front is going to be the hard part. Of course, if they happen to catch on the cog, I could actually use the wheel to my advantage. But there we go. Look at that. The drive wheel is driving it, but I don't have it fished through here properly. Damn it. You need to have it aligned proper through here. Okay. It's a little bit of a fishing game. It is nice that the paint is holding them all together. All right. almost there. We're almost there. Yay. Okay. This guy might be screwing me up because I need to get him on here. At the same time as the track. There, it didn't screw me up. Yay! Okay, and we go around like this. And there we go. Yay. So, our drives, our idler wheel, I'm going to have to paint them. I just got no way around it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use, I don't want to actually paint. So I'm going to see what it looks like if I just use my graphite stick on them. And see how he looks. Because if it doesn't really cover the green paint, then it's just going to ruin the whole illusion of it being metal. It doesn't really cover enough, so I am going to have to paint it. Have you seen new USA anti-drone weapons? No, I have not. Anti-drone weapons. No, I haven't seen those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it with, I'm going to use light gunmetal, I think. Where's my light gunmetal? I have light gunmetal here somewhere. That's right, there it is. Light gunmetal. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly paint our idler wheel. Let's take him off again. A little bit of wiggle. I don't want to totally dislodge my track. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to set our tank aside for a minute while I quickly paint these. So once it's all together, it's really going to be super hard to paint these accurately. So I'm going to stick them back on their toothpicks. And that'll be the easiest way. To just paint the edges here. Of course, it wants to spin on the toothpick, which is not helping me. There. Now it looks metal. It doesn't look like a green wheel. I'll just do the edge here too, where assumedly we get track contact, taking the green paint off. There we go. Okay, there's our little metallic wheel now. Okay, let's put that aside for a minute, let that paint dry. We'll work on this guy. It goes back and forward. What's it? It's funny how $1,000 drone can destroy $80 million tank, but now one Epirus, I don't know how to pronounce that, can shockwave all drones in the way. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how, you know, one technology counters another technology. And they're always coming up with something new. Always something new. Okay, there we go. So that wheel's done now too. Okay, let those dry for a minute. Clean up my brush. And while we're waiting for our little wheels to dry, I'll fish the track through on the other side. Fish our track through on this side. Well, first of all, we're going to assemble all my links. I'm going to count these and make sure I've got them correct here. This is my flat, my glued side, so just let me count these first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25. 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42. I'm going to put them together at the same time. We're at 42. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. 52. 52. 53, one at a time. 53, 54, 55, 56. 56, 7, 8, 9, 60. 60. Come on. There we go. 60. 64. 64. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. Perfect amount. There we go. All right, one big link. Ready to go. And make sure it's the same direction as the other side. And we're gonna fish it through underneath our center little idler wheel here. There we go. Okay, now we're at the front. Pulling through here. We're there. Okay, so this is kind of going to be the tricky part, is getting these links to link in the correct direction. But that's why I left a couple loose on the end, so that I can get them together. And we can get together, because putting these together like this is kind of hard to do. But maybe if I flop this down onto my desk, if I run this through, here's how I can do this. Get these through like that, and now I can link them like this. And get that snap in there, yeah, just like that. And now we have that. And we've got yay. We've got yay. And now we got to get our idler wheel. We got to pull this out a little bit. And push it back. There we go. And then this is the only really hard part. I want to get this to here, which means this needs to go a little further. Let's tighten that up there. So the question is, how do you snap these together and have them actually stay together? We'll try tweezers. Because it takes a little bit of pressure to get these together. Oh, that snapped together. Yay! It's assembled. It's a little loose. Why is it loose? Why is it so loose? If I squeeze it down, I almost have a feeling that I'm going to have to I want to say it's almost like I got too many links. I could try pulling one link out, but in any case, it's in, okay, where it's assembled. Okay, it just doesn't look that great right now. So we'll worry about this in a minute. I'm going to do it this side. Get this side put together. Let's get our wheel in here. No, not yet. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Now we're together. All right. There's our tracks. We're done. So they're really loose though, which is why I want to glue them here, and that way we get the realistic sag when we get to the bottom. So that's why I want to like set this down like this, and we get realistic sag on them, and we can glue our actual track pieces. I realize the camera is not doing me any favors right now by showing you this. Let me see. Let's take a piece of cardboard here and set it down. Okay, so we get a realistic kind of sag on them like this, and that will allow me to put some glue along there and glue them on, and that will prevent the tracks from falling apart on me later on. And at the same time, it's going to glue them to the wheels, and yeah, everything will be very nice. So I'm just going to run some glue all along our links here, especially along the bottom edge. Okay, that's it. So, with our tracks on, that's basically going to be it for that part. I got a link on the front here that wants to be a jerk and come apart on me right in the front here. But I think we can get away with it. How are we doing here? If I add a little bit of glue, see, I don't care if it's, I just need to make sure these are glued nicely. Even if gluing them to the actual cog, that's fine. All these little links. This is where it'd be nice to have just like a great big glue brush and just go and just glue everything. So this is the side that it's not quite realistic because of our link. I could try and bend that like harshly and try and get this a little bit more better. But it's kind of hard. The way everything is now, it's wanting to set up and glue now. So it's it's hard to keep moving it around. As the glue starts to harden. Okay, set her back down into her position like that, and that's where the glue is going to dry. She's going to dry like that. Okay, so we can put this back on. Let's see. Yeah, let's put it in a position so that when I let go of the cardboard, it falls down on the floor. Just do that. Okay. I think I get rid of this. Okay. Let's take this guy and put him back on. Just like that. Okay. And our turret goes back into position. Again. You see, last time I did paint this. I got this a little bit darker green in there, so I don't have that light green showing like I did last time. And we'll line them up. There we go. And that's the completed assembly. Just like that, she's done. And yeah, when you look at it from the side, you really don't see the tops of the tracks at all. And that's that. Okay, so there's your finally completed tank assembly. She's finally, after so many hours, she's finally assembled completely. So, does that mean I'm done? No, we're still not done. Well, why not? Well, because we need to add some weathering. Okay? We need to add some weathering effects to this. Because she shouldn't look really shiny. That's just wrong. Tanks are not shiny. So, but with that being said, this is where I need to leave it, because if I decide to try and start doing a bunch of weathering on this, I'm gonna have a bad time because my tracks are not cured. I need to let that glue harden, and so that my tracks don't fall apart on me again. I need to make sure that doesn't happen. But this is so this is where I need to leave it. This is our completed assembly finally. Yes, finally. She's done. And I'm just gonna double check. Yes, my turret goes up and down. Yay. This is where I'm gonna have to leave it, guys. I'm gonna have to leave it for today. So, with that being said, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for the chat. Yeah, if you haven't already done it, I say it every time almost. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like down below. Check out the description box to see links to my other stuff. I did just upload a picture on my X channel. I uploaded a picture of the tracks as I was doing them. I just took a picture of it just to see, so you can see the progress. Still picture of how they look a little bit up close. So check that out if you feel like it. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully the last one. Yeah.